Eddie Bucket's most absurd Michael Jordan stat you've ever seen. Well, let's see it. Okay, reactors, welcome back to the channel, the Nuclear Reactor, the reaction channel where all the reactions go nuclear. Before we get into this video, if you guys are a sports fan, go over to my sports channel, Ring Culture, link in the description. Y'all will love it over there. But back over here at Nuclear Reactor, y'all know I believe every action deserves a reaction, and over here we are very, very reactionary. Before we get into this video though, hype my page, like, comment down below, share my page, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so y'all can be notified for every time I upload, and I upload a lot. So today, a notification came across my, I got a notification today. Eddie Buckets put out a video of the most absurd Michael Jordan stat you've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of absurd Michael Jordan stats. I gotta see what is the most absurd, if it's something I haven't seen before. It should be good though. So we're gonna both go into this reaction and find out what it's hitting for. So let's react.
Want to hear an absurd Michael Jordan stat?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
When we talk about insane, absurd, mind-boggling, and borderline psychotic individual playoff series, Michael Jordan is the greatest to ever do it, and I don't even think it's remotely close.
It's not.
Game score is a stat that combines everything a single player contributes to the game of basketball and puts it all into one nice, neat number. To give you guys some context,
I know MJ has the highest game scored game in the regular season. I think he's second in the playoffs behind Charles Barkley, the highest game scored game.
To give you guys some context about how good or bad a single game score is, a game score of around 0 to 10 is what your average role player puts up. Think about a typical game from Jackson Hayes. A game score of around 10 to 20 is what a typical all-star would put up. Think of Jaylen Brown in a normal night. A game score of about 20 to 25 is what a top NBA superstar puts up on a nightly basis. Think Luka Doncic on a normal Tuesday night. However, any game score over 25 will put you in NBA history with some of the greatest games of all time. For example, Giannis Antetokounmpo in early November.
That's good context, because I didn't know what average game scores was for each level of individual player. Superstar, role player.
Early November of last season, recorded the highest game score of the season with a stat line of 59 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists,
that's
5
crazy.
steals plus blocks, only 3 turnovers, and he shot 21 of 34 from the field. This gave Giannis a game score of 54.2 that night.
Wow.
Not only was this the best game from the 2024-25 season, but this was statistically the 17th greatest game of all time. Now, do you know what's harder than having one of the greatest games of all time?
What?
Doing it for 4 to 7 straight games in the playoffs. Right here, we have a chart showing the greatest playoff series of all time.
Oh, wow.
According to the game
score by series.
Reggie Miller's 1993 series.
I never even thought about game score by series. Oh, this should be good.
Reggie Miller's 1993 series versus the Knicks, where he lit up New York for 31 points a game on 53% shooting, is right here. KD's series against the Spurs in 2016 in round 2 is right here. Curry in the 2022 NBA Finals makes an appearance at 23.2. LeBron's 2016 Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals series ranked very close to each other, around 25 to 26. Michael Jordan's sweep against Orlando in 96 and his sweep against Detroit in 91 both find their way up here. Moving up the chart now, we have more Michael Jordan in the late 80s and 1991 versus Showtime. We have Shaq's 2 best series ever, the 2000 and 2002 NBA Finals, Jokic's 2023 series versus Phoenix, and Giannis's 2021 NBA Finals rank way too high to be ignored. And of course, we find LeBronto near the upper limits of this chart, where LeBron James famously swept
Damian
the
Lillard and
one-seeded
Jimmy Butler
Raptors in 2018 with a bunch
right
of
under
substitute
LeBron.
teachers by his side. But even what the King has done in the playoffs doesn't even compare to MJ's best, because Michael Jordan has the best playoff series of all time in 1988 against the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Wow.
where the man dropped, maybe 45, 5, 4, 3 on 56% shooting with a game score of 34. Well, actually, I'm lying though. This is only Jordan's third best playoff series. Air Jordan has a peak playoff series of 38.4. Michael Jordan in this completely...
He's right, never heard this before. And it is absurd.
Michael Jordan in this completely ludicrous playoff series averaged, embrace yourselves, 45, 9, 6, and 3 on 60% shooting. These are like 2K My Career numbers on rookie settings. For context, LeBron James' best playoff series, according to GameScore, is against the Raptors in 2018, where LeBron pretty much soloed the one-seeded Raptors in a 4-game series. The gap between LeBron's best playoff series and Jordan's best playoff series is a larger gap than Kawhi's 2019 NBA Finals when he took down the Warriors. It's a larger gap than Steph Curry's unreal 2022 NBA Finals. It's even a larger gap than LeBron's 2016 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals.
Wow.
And this isn't just one lucky playoff series. Michael Jordan has 5 individual playoff series that are better than LeBron's best. Michael Jordan is the only player to have a game score of over 35 in a series, and he has the most 30 or higher series game scores of all time. Michael Jordan still holds the crown for unreal playoff series, despite nearly 30 years of basketball history after Jordan's prime, and no one has quite come up with what the Black Cat did in his prime. Today, we're going to be looking through some absolutely insane, psychotic Michael Jordan stats that might just blow your mind. So be sure to have your popcorn ready.
Well, it really can be a spectacular night for the Bulls as Jordan has come up with another steal.
Now, this is Michael Jordan, of course, but specifically from his rookie year. Now, most of Michael Jordan's unreal stats, feats, and accomplishments came later into his career, but to find a really hidden, obscure Jordan stat, we have to go all the way back to 1984. Michael Jordan was drafted as the 3rd overall pick in the 1984 draft, and he did not disappoint in year 1.
Yep.
From the gate, you could already tell that this wasn't just another lottery pick, but he showed flashes of one of the greatest players to ever lace up on the hardwood.
Yes.
MJ, in just his rookie year, was already averaging 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 2.4 steals a game.
A rookie.
Here's the list of every NBA rookie in history to have this stat line. Yeah, it's just MJ. Even if we include all seasons in league history, even outside just rookies, there have only been 9 total seasons where a player had a stat line of 28, 6, 5, and 2. And do you know what makes this feat so ridiculous? Most NBA players typically history, even outside just rookies, there have only been 9 total seasons where a player had a stat line of
James
28,
Harden with 2
6,
steals
5,
a game.
and 2. And do you know what makes this feat so ridiculous? Most NBA players typically have their worst shooting splits in their rookie season, getting used to the adjustments of facing against a new pool of world-class talent,
straight up,
different roles on their new NBA team, and the wear and tear on their bodies from their first ever 82-game season. But not Michael Jordan. Air Jordan is one of 13 rookies to score at least 20 points a game in their first year and shoot over 50%.
I need to see this. Adrian Dantley, 20. Wow. Walter Davis, 24. Rookie. Bill Cartwright, 21. Terry Cummins, 23. Terry Cummins was a beast. Ralph Sampson, 21. People sleep on Ralph Sampson. If y'all look at Ralph Sampson, Victor Wembanyama, he's a lot like, Victor Wembanyama is a lot like Ralph Sampson. Don't sleep on them. They wasn't plumbers. Ralph Sampson would go coast to coast too. He suffered a real bad injury. Him and Elijah Wan played together for a little while, and what do you know? Next is Elijah Wan, 20 points. Wow. MJ 28. David Robinson 24. Alonzo more than 21. Shaq 21. Wow. Blake Griffin. I used to love Blake Griffin. That was my dude.
Score at least 20 points a game.
What
in
did
their
Wilt
first
average?
year and
I know
shoot
Wilt
over
averaged a lot.
50%. Rookie MJ was a 6'6", sub 200-pound guard
Yep.
in the 1980s, putting up scoring splits equal to that of 7-footers.
Yep.
But the madness doesn't stop there for rookie Jordan. MJ in 1985 raised the Bulls 11 wins, taking them from the second worst record in the league in 1984 at 27-55 to the 7th seed in the East with a record of 38-44 in 1985. Now, past the NBA-ABA merger, MJ in 85 made up one of 18 rookies to ever be selected for an All-Star game. He's one of 4 rookies to make an All-NBA team, and the only rookie in the modern era to lead the league in total points as a rookie. Yes, Michael Jordan in 1985 scored a ridiculous 2,313 points. More total points that year than players like Purvis Short, Dominique Wilkins,
Alex English, Bird,
and 1985
and
MVP winner Larry Bird. Now, if you were to actually rank where Michael Jordan was
So
MVP
Bird won scoring
winner
title?
Larry Bird. Now, if you were to English and 1985 MVP winner Larry
he was an
Bird.
MVP.
Now, if you were to actually rank where Michael Jordan was in terms of the best players in the league in 1985, where would you rank him? MJ was going against other greats in the middle of their primes in 1985, like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bernard King, Isaiah Thomas, Sidney Moncrief, Alex English, and Terry Cummings, and more. According to some popular advanced stats like PER, value over replacement, box plus minus, it's not a crazy statement to say that Michael Jordan was a top 2 player in the league in 1985. Air Jordan was
Hold up, bruh. Hold up. His player efficiency was 25.8 in 84. Holy shit, he was second to Larry Bird in all of these stats. Yeah, dude, you are digging in the crates for these. Wow.
That Michael Jordan was a top 2 player in the league in 1985.
That's wild,
Jordan
bro.
with hair placed top 2 in the main 4 advanced stats
But
of
Bird was a monster.
PER, win shares, box plus minus, and value over replacement. Yeah, this isn't a typo. There's a legit argument to be made that rookie Michael Jordan was better than peak Magic Johnson, Bernard King, Isaiah Thomas, and Sidney Moncrief. Michael in 1985 was an absolute demon on the hardwood. He was a scoring machine that had a crazy first step, unreal hang time, and was already one of the best slashers in the game.
Yep.
Now, when I first saw rookie Jordan's stat line, these crazy numbers reminded me of someone. Well, SGA doesn't have the same type of explosive burst to the rim and relies more on mid-range shots. Both players are among the top drivers in the NBA, along with their eerily similar builds. Along with this, Shea's stat line in 2025 is pretty identical to rookie Jordan. While SGA has rookie MJ beaten by a pretty good margin for scoring, both players put up very similar amounts of rebounds and assists. Both players definitely lead their contributions on the defensive end. Both players have a nearly same field goal percentage, and both players have nearly identical free throw shot.
Wow, that's Jordan as a rookie.
Now, going back to that value over replacement stat from earlier, a stat that shows the estimated value that a player brings to the court compared to the average NBA player. 2025 SGA slightly sits on top of him at 8.8 compared to Jordan's 7.3 in 1985. SGA's 2025 campaign was an all-time great season, and there's no doubt about that. Except Michael Jordan has 8 individual seasons that rank higher than 2024-25 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, that's not a typo. Michael Jordan has 8 seasons that are better than the season where SGA won every award known to mankind.
Crazy.
Michael Jordan in 1985 was just getting started, where he would completely tear up the league in the following seasons.
D-Wade.
from Jermaine O'Neal, got a piece of it.
Ouch.
Dwayne Wade is one of the greatest slashers the game of basketball's ever seen.
Yes.
Nicknamed the Flash, 1 second you would be face to face with him on the perimeter, and the next moment this 6'4" guard would be throwing down posters on your favorite big man. D. Wade during the mid to late 2000s was one of the most unstoppable slashers the game has ever seen. Now, taking a look at the complete opposite end of perimeter scorers, we have Carmelo Anthony. Melo during the early 2010s was arguably the greatest mid-range player the game had ever seen.
Yeah, he
could lock this guy in a phone booth, and he would have absolutely zero trouble getting a bucket.
Yeah.
Now, what do you get when you take the slashing abilities from late 2000s Dwayne Wade and the mid-range assassin of New York Knicks Carmelo Anthony? Well, you might have just created Michael Jordan in his prime. The other day, I was going through my daily procrastination when I ran into this subreddit. The title reads, "According to tracking stats, Michael Jordan was arguably both the best slasher and mid-range shooter of all time." Now, this is a pretty bold take.
Yeah,
Dominating two opposite ends of offense at the same time should be impossible, right?
Right.
This article goes on to explain how in the 1996-97 season, the first season that the NBA officially started counting specific player shooting data, that Michael Jordan shot in between 49 and 51% from mid-range. Pretty impressive, taking into account that he had the third highest efficiency and the first highest volume of mid-range shots. Now in 1997, MJ was still one of the greatest players of all time, but he was 33 years old and was starting to regress compared to his former younger self. Luckily for us though, this Reddit thread also gave us a link to unofficial shooting data from 126 games from the 1990, 91, and 92 NBA season.
Wow.
The time I would consider to be Jordan's peak. On RealGM.com almost blew me away. Michael Jordan threw 126 unofficially tracked games in the early 90s, shot nearly 75% from the rim, 59% from the paint overall, 51% from mid-range, and 38% from three.
Let's put this in context too. Michael Jordan used to drive the lane and or shoot mid-range jumpers over sometimes 2 or 3 players or 4 players. Like Jordan was constantly being double and triple teamed. There's a few videos that y'all can actually watch. One of them is Michael Jordan's Reign. Michael Jordan Defy Gravity, and Michael Jordan Rise. You'll see like all these insane layups that Jordan is doing between just absurd amount of defensive players. Yeah, so this is absolutely impressive. And also back in this day, the lane was packed in the paint because there was no 3-second rule. They did the 3-second rule so they can help the offensive player get off a little bit more. It wasn't one back then, and it was true 7+ footers back then. Big guys, athletic big men. This is absurd.
From mid-range and 38% from three. These numbers are crazy efficient in the 90s, and even 35 years later, these numbers would still put you among the best in the league. For context, SGA in 2025 was the best scorer in the league, and he shot around 69% from the rim, 59% from the paint overall, 50% from mid-range, and 37% from three.
Wow.
Near identical numbers as prime MJ.
Yep.
Now, digging even deeper into this website, it gives us Michael Jordan's tendencies and numbers in isolation, and they were pretty shocking. Not only are these numbers impressive, to no one's surprise, but the one metric that stands above the rest was that Michael Jordan during these 126 games shot 63.7% when he was driving to the rim. Once again, for context, at 7% when he was driving to the rim. Once again, for context, SGA in 2025 shot exactly 60% while he was driving to the basket. Now, choke Paul 3 and making the claim that Michael Jordan is the greatest slasher and mid-range shooter ever is kind of hard to defend with real tangible evidence because we don't have any advanced shooting data from MJ's first 11 years of his career. But does MJ have the greatest slashing and mid-range combo peak we've ever seen? Was there a player during any point in their career that dominated the mid-range and attacking the rim in the same time, like early 90s Jordan?
Not that I know of.
Well, to figure this out, I handpicked the top 25 slashing seasons from 1997 to 2025. I used pure paint scoring numbers instead of driving numbers for a couple of reasons. Driving NBA stats are really hard to find, and what counts as a drive versus what counts as a cut, post-up, transition, or anything in between has been measured differently in this 28-year period. So for the sake of consistency, I found the paint scoring numbers of players that do most of their paint scoring from drives.
This is going to be crazy, right?
Taking a look at this chart, we have some of the greatest individual seasons of all time. We have efficiency from the paint on the x-axis and the amount of paint makes on the y-axis.
Right.
Allen Iverson in 2001 made nearly 400 shots in the paint, but was pretty inefficient doing it.
Iverson was very inefficient, but also taking into account that he was like 6 feet tall, and he definitely used to drive a lot and get hit a lot. Iverson was that dude.
But was pretty inefficient doing it. We have other Hall of Fame slashing seasons like 2017 Westbrook, 2011 D. Rose, and 2019 James Harden.
Wow.
2003 Kobe actually fell lower than I thought. 2025 Shea, 2009 Wade, and 2023 Luka all surprised me with how much paint scoring they were doing.
Yeah.
And to really no one's
Luka.
surprise, 2013 LeBron James and 2021 Giannis pretty much dominate this chart with the most makes and highest efficiency at the same time.
That makes sense.
Down low. Now, where's early 90s Michael Jordan, you ask? Numbers adjusted for an 82-game season, and MJ is right here.
Damn.
Now, Eddie, I thought you said that these were absurd Michael Jordan stats.
There's more.
MJ looks pretty normal in here. Very true point here. While MJ still places very well on this chart, he isn't in his own galaxy, as Jimmy High Roller would say. But just hear me out. Now, I did the same thing with the top 25 mid-range shooting seasons since 1997. Once again, we have total mid-range makes on the y-axis and efficiency on the x-axis. Kobe Bryant's MVP 2008 season places lower than I expected, closer to 2005 Rip Hamilton than anything. 2018 LaMarcus Aldridge
Rip
is a
underrated
sleeper
though.
pick for mid-range assassins. 2003 T-Mac was just a scoring warrior. We have 2014 KD, along with 2013 Melo in the same area.
Wow.
Some real all-time great mid-range shooting seasons that people sleep on are campaigns like 2008 KG, 2022 DeMar DeRozan, and 2011 Dirk Nowitzki.
Look at Dirk.
But where is early 90s MJ again? Well, he'd be all the way up here. Once again, Michael Jordan's makes were adjusted for an 82-game season, and he still has more than 170 mid-range makes, and then the next closest competitor, 2011 Dirk, while having the fourth highest efficiency in this chart with this insane amount of volume. Now, we've established the greatest slashing and mid-range scoring seasons of tracking data history, but how does the relation of these two areas of dominance put together look like? Can a player truly dominate both the paint and the mid-range at the same time? Or are players pretty much forced to pick a zone?
No,
well, to
not
find
Jordan.
this out, I took the top 25 seasons from both sides and, of course, put them on a chart. The y-axis being total mid-range makes, and the x-axis being total paint makes. Let's take a look at this. Chris Paul's 2014 season is great, but not as much stacked up against other greats. 2011 Dirk fails to compete in paint scoring despite his unreal mid-range success.
Wow.
2013 Melo, 08 Pierce, and 08 Garnett fall near the middle, along with 2023 D-Book, 2017 Kyrie, 2021 Kawhi, and 2020 Jimmy Butler, all hovering in the 200s and high 100s for total makes in both areas. Making our way to some real impressive seasons though. Dominions of both areas. We have seasons like 2003 T-Mac, his counterpart 2003 Kobe, 2022 DeMar, 01 Allen Iverson, and 2017 Russell Westbrook. However, the real best of the best are seasons like 09 Dwayne Wade, 2017 DeMar, 2015 LeBron James, and 2025 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And then you have Michael Jordan from 1990 to 1992. Once again, adjusted for 82 games, Jordan has by far the most mid-range makes of all time, while only paling in paint makes to 2025 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 2023 Nikola Jokic. While this chart doesn't take efficiency into account, and
that is absurd, bruh.
To 2025 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 2023 Nikola Jokic. While this chart doesn't take efficiency into account, and Michael Jordan was known for taking a lot of shots, I'd like to remind you that MJ shot 59% from the paint and 51% from mid-range. Numbers that are still undeniably great even in today's game. So is Michael Jordan the definitive greatest mid?
Also, Jordan did all this while being an elite defensive player. And in 1988, winning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, leading the league in scoring and steals. Like, he played elite defense every night. This is, yeah, Mike's the GOAT. I mean, it's not even close, bro. It's not close at all, bro.
The greatest mid-range plus slasher combo scorer basketball's ever seen. Well, due to a lack of data, it's impossible to really know that.
Right.
Sorry, Choke Ball 3. However, does Michael Jordan have the highest slashing plus mid-range combo scoring peak ever? Well, based on the hard, tangible evidence we have, I think you can make a pretty good argument for it.
Yeah. I thought I heard all of Michael Jordan absurd stats. Didn't hear those. That was insane. And the game score per series, I never even thought about doing a game score for a player for an entire series. Yeah, this is just another piece of evidence that Michael Jordan is by far the GOAT in the NBA. That was absurd. I'm almost speechless because, you know, like, I've heard so many of these stats, but wow, salute to you, Eddie Buckets. That was, I didn't think I could hear any more crazy Jordan stats, but that one was a doozy. Reactors, let me know what y'all think down below about these actual absurd stats Eddie Buckets pulled out. I mean, they're crazy. But anyway, my reactors, that is the video for today. As always, pleasure. All my reaction, well, that belongs to y'all. I love y'all. Peace.